It is Thursday, June 18th, 2026. This is another edition of Baseball Today presented to you by T-Mobile. That is not my man, Trevor Plouffe. That is my dude, Dalton Feely. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan along for the ride as well. We're wearing the same unis, or basically.
Who would have thought?
And if I had dyed my beard today, I mean, they couldn't have been able to tell us apart, Dalt.
We're twinning, Rosie. I heard that John Boy Media is instituting a beard-only policy, unlike the Yankees. I don't know if Storielli got the message yet, but at least we have so far.
Well, that's going to be a problem because I'm not so sure our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, has the ability to grow facial hair. And in fairness, when I was his age, it would have been really patchy for me too.
I mean, you know what? We pull it off, Rosie. That's why we're here right now. Like, it's just you and me vibing out.
Yeah. Well, that and to give our opinions on the baseball world. So let's get to it with a great tip of the cap. It's been a tough few days for the Cleveland Guardians, losing Jose Ramirez and Mr. DeLauder and Mr. Martinez and everybody else. But they did see the major league debut of one Daniel Espino. If people aren't familiar with his journey, former first-round pick back in 2019, threw a bazillion miles an hour. Then he had a couple of shoulder surgeries. He actually went 1,241 days between minor league appearances. Spent a lot of that time out in Goodyear, Arizona at the Guardians spring training complex. There's his mom after his first major league strikeout. He worked a 1-2-3 frame in his debut. The entire dugout, he's getting a big hug there from Tanner Bybee. Very emotional because this is a guy who poured his heart and soul into getting there. And frequently we highlight journeys of guys who it takes years and years and years. This is a guy who didn't think he was going to be able to throw a baseball again. And there he was throwing 100 miles an hour in his debut. It's pretty cool.
I mean, Rosie, this is a guy who was a former top 20 prospect in all of baseball. Like, he was so highly touted. I'm a big fantasy baseball guy, shocker. My friends and I were excited to see him debut a few years ago when it was rumored that he might come up, but then obviously with the shoulder injuries set him back. Such a long road of recovery. So very happy for him to make his debut, and quite frankly, a dominant debut for Cleveland.
Yeah, so Bybee was going over a story when Espino first got called up last week, and he said, I remembered, he said, Bybee got drafted in 2021, and then he was throwing a pen in the beginning of 2022, and Espino was next to him, and he heard the ball pop, and he turned around, and he was like, that's the best pitcher I've ever seen. You could tell just after a couple throws, and he reiterated that again when he arrived. He was like, I still believe as long as he can stay healthy, he's going to be the best pitcher that I've ever seen up close. So we wish him well. It's hopefully just the start of his journey, and hopefully he can help out a beleaguered Guardians team at this point. In the meantime, let's get to the rest of it. The San Francisco Giants, I don't know if they get credit for 1 3/4 wins on Wednesday because they had to finish the suspended game. They took care of business down in Atlanta with that. And then the regularly scheduled game, they won as well because they showed off their power stroke in 1 inning.
On the changeup for the punch, first at bat.
Eldridge out to center field. All the way back, Dubon. And he'll jump. It is gone.
That was part of back-to-back homers with Luis Ariz for Bryce Eldridge. They added another one in that frame over against Mr. Ritchie, who struggled in his starting performance there. Let's talk very quickly about Bryce Eldridge. Remember, when he first came up, they couldn't find him regular playing time. I have a feeling you're not going to see him on the bench very often.
Yeah, there's a lot of drama about him not playing early on, but it's kind of ironic. Like, since going to Coors Field, sometimes that just solves your problems, making a little trip to the Rocky Mountains. He's been dominant. He's batting .424 with a 1.2 since May 29th, since the start of their series versus the Rockies in Coors Field. And he's been one of the best hitters in baseball, Rosie. This is a guy who was a top prospect for the San Francisco Giants. It's been awesome to see after all the drama that he's been through. Starting on the bench, not used to not playing in baseball games. He's been a big part of the Giants lineup that's needed to get picked up big time.
Yeah, he has reached base safely in 22 consecutive games. That is the second longest streak for any Giants player 21 years old or younger. The only guy who's got a longer one, Willie McCovey. So when you're talking about one of the Willies and you're up there in that franchise, it's pretty special. I mean, he had that walk-off grand slam against Washington, where they had the monumental comeback. Hitting has not been the problem over the last month for the San Francisco Giants. You get to the bullpen especially, major issue. And after pretty much Logan Webb in the rotation, it's been dicey at best. But we're really here to focus on the Atlanta Braves, who not only suffered a couple of losses yesterday and have dropped 6 of their last 7, the injury news just continues to mount. Yes, they put Spencer Strider on the injured list earlier this week with an elbow issue. They officially moved him to the 60-day, which means we're probably not going to see him until September at best. And then manager Walt Weiss said Ronald Acuna is, quote, a long way away from coming back. He just went on the IL for the second time this year with the same exact hamstring injury that cost him several weeks earlier this year. They said it's in exactly the same spot. That's why they're not going to rush him back. If you're Alex Anthopoulos, do you have to get on the phone right now and start pushing?
I think so. And I mean, first off, with Ronald Acuna, that really stinks too, because this is a guy who is one of the best players in baseball when he's healthy. We've seen his MVP types of seasons. We've seen his 40 homer, 70 stolen base season. Like, he is one of the most electric players in Major League Baseball when he's healthy. But obviously, he's been dealing with lots of different injuries over his career. So the Braves, obviously, they have a lot of guys that have performed in the lineup and even in the rotation. But the rotation is something that I am a little bit scared about, Rosie. Since over the last month, the Atlanta Braves rotation 27th in home runs per 9, 25th in average allowed, 24th ERA, 23rd in WHIP. That is bottom third in Major League Baseball in all of these starts. They just lose Spencer Strider, who in 2023 was so dominant.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's had the elbow issues from Clemson and now here too with Atlanta. They need starting pitching because right now, Martin Perez has done a great job filling in, but he's not someone you want come October to be one of your top 3, one of your top 4 guys in the rotation. And the Braves, they just lost the best record in baseball. The Dodgers passed them yesterday. The Braves have been one of the best teams in baseball. They had been the best team in baseball throughout a majority of this season. The injury bug has hit them very heavy. I think AA has got to make a move here to make Atlanta capitalize on where they're at right now.
So on yesterday's show with Swilly, we asked the question, at that point, Philly had crept within 7. I think it's down to 6.5, even though the Phillies lost yesterday. Mm-hmm. And we said, well, can they get back in this thing? And yes, they can. They both have deficiencies, and the Phillies just sent down Andrew Painter. So Dave Dombrowski is going to have to get on the phone and find somebody, some veteran, to help out at the back end of the rotation because Aaron Nola has struggled as well. With the Braves, right now, we're looking at Sale, Holmes, Richie, Perez, and Bryce Elder, who started out great, but the last few starts has kind of resorted back to where he somewhat has lived in his career. So now, if you're the glass half full Braves fan, you say, well, hold on now. Waltrip, coming back soon. He's probably furthest along. Schwellenbach, Smith-Shawver. Those 3 guys have combined for fewer than 65 career starts. Now, they do have a taste of the postseason, which is nice. But is that where you want to go after Chris Sale? To try and stare down the Dodgers, to try and take down the Brewers, to have to deal with the Phillies and any other team that gets smoking hot? I don't know if I'm fully in on the Cardinals yet. Interesting team. They still feel like they're a little ways away from competing with the big boys in the National League. But if I'm Alex Anthopoulos, I've got to think about it. And that has not been his MO at the trade deadline, is going to get starting pitching.
And I mean, Rosie, you nailed it on the head because right now the National League is just so competitive. Obviously, it's a little bit top heavy with these division leaders so far, the Dodgers, Braves, and Brewers being like the big dogs in the National League. There's a lot of teams in the National League wildcard hunt. There's like 10 of 15 teams that could make the postseason. The American League is on a down year, right? So we would say it's been pretty bad outside of the Yankees. Shout out, Dan. But for the Braves, like, the dream is, and this is the name that's going to be linked to many different teams, is obviously Tarek Skubal, right? Could you imagine a Chris Sale, Tarek Skubal 1-2 punch? I don't know if the Tigers end up moving Skubal this year. I know this is going to be something that we will discuss from now till August 3rd during the trade deadline. But I do think there's one name, Rosie, that I'm like, hey, Alex Anthopoulos, we got to get for this rotation to help out. It's Reed Detmers. And that sounds crazy. It's another left-handed pitcher for the Atlanta Braves. I'm calling my shot now on June 18th. I think the Braves are going to get Reed Detmers at the trade deadline. Since Perry Moniason's taken over of the Los Angeles Angels in November of 2020, he's made 13 trades with the Atlanta Braves out of 58 trades with the Angels. He does a lot of wheeling and dealing with Atlanta. The Braves are going to need starting pitching. They have a lot of pitching prospects to deal. I think Tarek Skubal might not get dealt. Reed Detmers could be a guy that you slide in right behind Chris Sale because Detmers has been dominating so far. I just saw him face my Snakes earlier this week. He's starting to figure it out for sure.
So Reed Detmers, I was looking up when he's a free agent. It's not till 2029. So this would be a move not only for this year, but also for future seasons for the Atlanta Braves, which makes sense. On top of that, even though he was a first-round pick of the Angels back in 2020, prior to that, he got drafted in the 32nd round out of high school by the Atlanta Braves. There you go. So he was on their board a little less than a decade ago, just to let you know. That would make sense. They've got to do something.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned, it's not, he has made big trades. When they won the World Series in 2021, he totally revamped their outfield on the fly, right? He picked up, who did he pick up? Jock, Soler, Rosario.
Duvall's there.
Yeah, he picked up Rysel Iglesias, I think a year later, maybe 2 years later, whatever it was, to help fortify that bullpen, and he's been great down there. But I think if I go back over Anthopoulos' timeline in Atlanta, the biggest starting pitcher he has traded for during the season is Jake Odorizzi. Now, Braves fans can help me out if I'm wrong there, but that's who I found. That's not exactly trying to strike big time at that point of Odorizzi's career. They are going to need help, I think, to maybe not hold off the Phillies, but certainly to take down these other teams in the National League. And the Acuna stuff, I'll deal with that when he comes back because I'm worried that it's going to change the way he plays this season.
Yeah. Less running, you think?
Yeah, and he's a different player when he's not the threat to steal.
Right. And then I guess defensively, do you move him a little bit more DH, give him some spells with the hamstring? I guess we can get there when we get there, but
Right. Well, part of the other problem is that their outfield is kind of bounced around because Dubon has had to play shortstop because Kim has stunk. He's hitting under 100 since he's come back, and so that Dubon's been their best shortstop this season. It's kind of a mess at this point. But Braves fans, let us know where you are. Do you want to see Anthopoulos shoot his shot? Who would you be willing to give up out of some of these young players? Who do you have your eyes on? You can mention Skubal, but maybe some other creative names like my boy Dalty came out with one. I like that. Good work on your part.
Thanks, Rosie.
All right, this episode of Baseball Today, it's sponsored by T-Mobile. Whether you're on the go or at the ballpark, T-Mobile is built to keep you connected wherever the game takes you. With America's best network, you know your phone is going to work even in a crowded stadium. Hey, anybody's been to the big game. You know the feeling. Your team hits the walk-off. Everybody's trying to text and post and send videos at exactly the same time. And you know what happens? Your phone won't load a damn thing. Or when you're trying to stream the game while you're on the move and the feed keeps buffering at the worst possible moment. You're like, that little circle keeps spinning. It's driving me nuts. Well, those are the moments that matter to real baseball fans. And a drop signal shouldn't be the reason that you miss any of them. T-Mobile's network, it is built specifically to handle all of it. I'm talking about packed stadiums and big moments. No problem. Find out how baseball hits different with T-Mobile at T-Mobile.com/MLB. The fastest base-on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data of national speed score results for 2H 2025. I tell you, the best based-on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data 2H 2025. All right. Brewers, they take care of my little guardians out there. Thanks to another blast from their budding superstar.
Dancing at second base. Chourio, right field. On the barrel. Back on the fly. He's at the wall. It's gone. It's a two-run opposite field home run. Jackson Chourio stays hot.
You ain't kidding, Brian Anderson. That dude is smoking right now. But I ask you this, with the emergence in the National League outfield of Jordan Walker and James Wood, has Chourio been overshadowed?
I think a little bit, and part of it to me is that the Brewers lineup, you don't think of the Brewers lineup as the biggest threat of this team. We think of their pitching. the success in the bullpen and the rotation. But Jackson Chourio is one of the biggest keys to why the Brewers lineup has been pretty darn good this year in comparison to recent years. And the other part of it is that Chourio missed time to begin the year. Like, no fault of his own, he gets the left hand hairline fracture, has only played in 37 games when Jordan Walker and James Wood has played 71 games in 75. James Wood leading Major League Baseball with games played and plate appearances so far this year. But if we extrapolated Jackson Chourio's stats so far this season, Chourio will be right on par with both of these guys, if not even past Jordan Walker's current numbers. All three of these guys have been studs, and I think Jackson Chourio has been overlooked because I think the sample size has just been smaller. But in June, my goodness, I believe he leads Major League Baseball, or his second in home runs so far. Like, he has just been crushing the ball, Rosie. And a reminder, like this, he's 22 years old. He is younger than both James Wood and Jordan Walker, who are also two young stars of the game. So Jackson Chourio, I think we're going to see a season from him, whether it's this year or the next season or the season after that, where he's going to put up ridiculous video game numbers. We're seeing just a taste of it so far in June. He's been fantastic for Milwaukee.
How about this? He's younger than J.J. Weatherholt.
Wow. Isn't that insane?
It is insane. And yeah, we hear the name. We're like, yeah, he's a really good player, isn't he? Oh, yeah, he got that huge deal before he even swung a big league bat. And you look at his first 2 years, and they're good. They're really good for a guy who started playing at age 20 and then 21, like closing in on an 800 OPS. And to see what he's done in the playoffs, he does have 4 homers in 12 playoff games as well. So the light, when it shines brightest, I don't think he's afraid of it. And he is going to be the centerpiece of this team. It's him and Bryce Terang. As much as we love Yelich and what he brings to the team and the leadership, and he still has that pop. Last night he had a leadoff homer on a breaking ball against Gavin Williams, and he can do that, and he can click you still, and he's still a really good athlete. It's Terang, and it's Jackson Chourio. And they are that is a phenomenal 1-2 punch for them to have. And obviously they've already wrapped him up. I think it was an 8-year, $84 million guaranteed, can push into 9 figures easily, depending on how he does and with options being picked up and things of that nature. But he is I think he's like, if you ask, what does Jackson Chourio do best?
Interesting.
Yeah, it's not like he's not like a 40 homer guy. He's not like James Wood, who can hit and run, but he is exactly James Wood because he can hit for power and run. If he ever fills out a full season, he's going to be a 30-30 guy. So he just kind of blends in while being an amazing baseball player. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah, I think the only thing that he really doesn't do well is walk. Like, I think he's a guy who puts the ball in play, and he's early in counts, and that's fine because he gets on base, he hits homers, he does his thing. Rosie, it's also interesting when we're comparing Jordan Walker, James Wood, and Jackson Chourio. I sent Dan prior to the show a little baseball reference comparing 3 guys' careers so far early on. The 3 guys are hidden. And I just wanted to give one other guy some love, even though he's been struggling a little bit. The guy on the left, I know it might be a little hard to see. That's Jackson Chourio's numbers. 8 WAR, 48 stolen bases, 278 average, right? Middle guy is James Woods. He's been crushing it. This year has been awesome. Any guesses who the third guy is? I'll give you a hint. It's another young National League player.
Young National League player. Okay, this is good. Good work, Dalty. So, right, the same exact WAR basically as these other guys. 48 homers, 29 steals. He doesn't play for your team, does he?
He does not, but he does play in my team's division.
Oh God. Oh, all right. Yeah, he has struggled this year. You're right.
Jackson Merle has struggled, but again, he's another young National League outfielder who can play. We saw it in 2024. He's someone that I'm rooting for too, because he's another one of these electric outfielders who can play. I know he struggled with the injuries in 2025. 2026 hasn't gone his way, but we have a lot of good young National League outfielders right now. Like, it's in a really good spot in the sport. So Jackson Chourio, James Wood, Jordan Walker, Jackson Merrill, like, these guys are up and coming, and they're going to continue to be one of the best in the league.
Good job. Good job, Dalty. Look at you trying to get extra points from the teacher for bringing in extra credit. I'm bringing in charts and graphs. Anything else you want to add to this, for God's sakes?
I'm a nerd at heart. You know it, Rosie.
That is pretty good. I like it. They also got a nice second game performance out of Cooper Pratt, one of the guys they extended before he ever came up here, signed a $50 million deal, went over his first game against Cleveland. Here's his first knock. You see his family here celebrating. He's 21 years old. It's great. And I will tell you this, for 21, he's funny. Listen to the back and forth with the reporters afterward.
It was fantastic. I was running. I was like, oh my gosh, go, get through. I was like afraid he was gonna like dive or something and throw me out. And once I saw it go through, I was like, oh yeah. I heard the crowd and it was sick.
What are you gonna do with the balls? Do they go to anybody, or you start your own?
Yeah, I'll probably throw it away. No.
Excellent. What are you gonna do with the balls? Probably throw it away. Quick.
I mean, it gives golden retriever energy in the best way possible. And after a debut a couple days ago where it wasn't the greatest debut, an offer, an error, a missed sign, did you see what the Brewers and Bryce Terang did to him on in his debut?
Yeah, it was nice. It was cute.
Yeah, I love
it. And for people that aren't familiar, he's at the top step and they're all like, okay, you lead us out. And so he ran out and didn't look back and nobody else left the dugout. So he's standing on the field by himself. Cute.
Good prank. So it's been an eventful 2 days for Cooper Pratt in his major league debuts.
Hey, Dan, can you put up the soundbite again? You don't have to roll it, but I just want to see it. So when I first saw him, I was like, does he have like a blonde mustache? Because that's a 100%. Dan, try and zoom in on that thing if you can. Yeah, let's bring that. Keep going. More. More.
Oh, yeah.
Even more. Yeah, bring it all the way in. That is oh, yeah, you're going all the way in on that. Look at that. You don't see full blonde mustaches on 21-year-olds very often that are fully developed-ish like that.
I mean, if he becomes like a stud for the Brewers, he's going to be like crazed from like all the fans for sure.
Well, he's got a little Bernie Brewer to him.
Wow. I mean, he's got to grow it out way more though, Rosie.
Oh, yeah. But for 21, this is an amazing start. I don't even want to talk about his 2-hit night and driving in a first run and, being the apple of everybody's eye in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
By his age 30 season, he might have it all the way like Bernie Brewer.
I got to tell you a quick story. So Brady is up there interning with the Brewers. He's living in Milwaukee. And, of course, he goes to the game last night with his buddy Scott. And we're down 3-0. And then I think it's 5-0. And I'm texting him, I'm like, with this lineup, it is going to be a tough go. Then the Guardians, they load the bases. Well, first of all, Brady was like, I think we're going to get no hit tonight. Manzardo gets a hit. I was like, well, there we go. Then we load the bases for Schneemann. And he hits a grand slam. And I go, boom. And he goes, what happened? I'm behind. I was like, that's funny, Brady.
That's good.
That was very funny. Good.
Yeah, I give him that one.
He's got Cooper Pratt quickness, that Brady Rose.
Who was he rooting for last night?
Come on.
Conflict of interest.
Not conflict. Everybody in the office knows. He's probably taking shit today at work because of it. They've already won the series. And by the way, with the Guardians lineup the way it is right now, could you imagine if Miz had stayed on schedule? He was supposed to start Thursday afternoon. Instead, they pushed him back because of the excruciating 95-pitch shutout he had.
Best Fanatics ever. Okay, sure. Why not?
I think they were like, oh, Cleveland's limping in here. We can't do this to them.
Pat Murphy showing sympathy. I love it.
Yeah. You know what? Let us know. Where does Jackson Chourio go in the draft of players 22 and younger right now? Maybe 23 if you want to even slide it up a rung. Because I think that he's not going to go off the board as quick as we think. Just position players.
Be interesting to see for sure.
Would you take him or McGonigal?
Ooh. Right now I would take Chourio just because of the power. We're starting to see McGonigal get a little bit of his power stroke in the Astros in that series. But I think Chourio right now because he does everything really well.
The position, though, for McGonigal, based on where he plays on the field, is really important, too. And that kid's a stud.
Absolutely.
That kid's a stud. Pretty good. In the meantime, let's stay in the National League Central where PCA is A-OK.
And then just kind of saying I want more from that in the end.
Fly ball deep down the right field line into the corner. And it's a fair ball and a home run for Pete Crow Armstrong.
Yeah, it took him a while to figure it out, but it was indeed a home run. And I feel like I've said that just about every other day. Well, actually, it's been 3 straight days for him. I think 4 out of 5, 8 in the month of June, where he's slugging over 900. Now, this run has virtually coincided with the day that he had on the south side of Chicago, where he said some disparaging remarks at that young lady behind the outfield fence. Do you think it's merely a coincidence that Crow Armstrong has rebounded since he said, I'm embarrassed I used a poor choice of words? Or is there something to it?
I think some players like getting ignited from fans, like getting trash talked, if you will. But you know what? For me, I think it's more of a coincidence than anything else, because I think Pete Crow Armstrong, just looking at his overall young career, he's been a very up and down player. He plays through the valleys of the Major League Baseball season. Like in 2024, his first 71 games had a 550 OPS. The last 52 of 2024, he had an 803 OPS. First half, second half. I don't even need to say those numbers because we know how great he was in the first half of 2025 and how much he struggled in the second half of 2025. I think Pete's just someone that we've seen. He goes through the ups and downs of the baseball season. And maybe this could have been like a little bit of a spark, but ultimately for me, I think it's more coincidental than anything else based on his previous history.
I think coincidence is the easy way to go. I do wonder. I think that PCA is one of those guys that knows people aren't going to like him based on like his style of play, the enthusiasm he get. Like, you know, he hops. He's got tremendous swag, tremendous, right? He hops around the bases. He is talking a lot of smack. He's talking, trying to get his team going. And he also doesn't mind being like the igniter in an opposing team's stadium.
Right.
We spent a lot of time talking about that incident on the south side of Chicago, and I think that he was embarrassed by it. Now, he never technically came out and apologized to the woman. He did say, quote, I regret my choice of words. I'm sure that people talked to him in his life, and he was embarrassed by it. And I do think that that probably weighed on him a little bit. But if you do notice, about a week after that incident is when he took off, and he's got like a 1.1 over the last 30 days. He has been one of the most dominant players in the sport. We know that he can own it on both sides of the baseball. But let's remember, right before this streak that he's gone on, he was clunking stuff left and right. He had the ball go right past him, go all the way to the fence for the Little League home run. It was not a good time for him. And the fact that he was able to dig himself out of this, I think, I don't know. I'm not a mental gymnastics coach, but I do think his ability to kind of say, I was wrong, and that's not who I want to be, might have added to this a little bit.
I think you also bring up a good point, Rosie, because like, wasn't there a situation, not a situation, but there in Busch Stadium, the Cardinals fans were chanting at PCA during one of these games saying like, either you're overrated or you stink or whatever. And he had like a 4 for 5 game, had a go-ahead home run. So I think you are right. Like I believe he's someone who likes to get ignited by the opposing team's fan bases. And there are other players that we've talked about this season, like Josh Naylor and Jazz Chisholm come to mind, where these are guys that if you're playing on their team, they love you. Like your teammates love you and you do everything in the clubhouse great. But if you're playing against them, they are annoying to play against because they'll do everything just to annoy you as an opposing team. And I think PCA does fit that mold as well.
Yeah, I wonder who else hits on that list for fans. I'd love for you to come up with that. Like there's a player that you could not stand, and then he joined your team, and you're like, oh, God, I got to root for this guy. And then you're like, awesome. That he's, please.
For me, when I was younger, it was Zach Greinke, because Greinke was so good with the Dodgers, and that 2015 season was like really special. Signs with Arizona, and he struggles in 2016, but his personality, I didn't really fully embrace Zach Greinke, who he was at first, because you see him as an opposing fan, you don't really know all the details, and then you see him kind of like a little bit closer, you see him more often. He was awesome. Like as a person, as someone in the Arizona Diamondbacks locker room, as a player, he was really fun. So that's someone that changed my mind because he became so good.
You know, we can go to different sports even. Do you think now Draymond Green has played in one uniform?
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Do you think that if he went to some other team that like if let's say he went to the Lakers, one of their arch rivals over the years. I wonder if the Lakers could embrace him.
Wow. Yeah. He's been in the league for what, 15 years?
I mean, I think he came out in 2011 or 12. So
right
yeah.
around, like that. It's interesting. It's tough, especially when you play for that long. Like, at least in my example, Greinke wasn't there for his whole career. Obviously, he was a longtime Royal prior to his Dodgers stint as well. But yeah, I don't know, Rosie, because that's a long time to be with one team, and there's a lot of animosity between those two organizations, like you said.
You know what? Give it. We know that obviously this is a baseball-centric show,
Sure,
thus called Baseball Today. But we have huge sports fans, right? We're both tremendous NFL fans. Yeah. I still like the NBA. You know, give us some other names in all of these sports. Back in the 80s, and it also has to do with baseball, Danny Ainge was that guy. And Danny Ainge, you know, he started out as a Celtic, but he would bounce around from team to team. In fact, Danny Ainge had such a negative connotation to his name. There is a classic fight, and I don't know if you're going to be able to find this on the fly, Dan, but listen up. They were playing the Hawks in the playoffs in the mid-'80s. It's Celtics and Hawks, and there's a loose ball on the ground, and Ainge goes for it. And the Hawks had a tremendous defensive-only center named Wayne Tree Rollins. He was 7'1", and all he did was block shots. Guy couldn't shoot worth a shit. And they both went down on the ground. Tree Rollins bit Danny Ainge's hand. But for years, because Ainge was such a pest and walked around with this whiny look on his face, and he played for the Celtics and the whole bit, everybody always thought that it was Danny Ainge who bit Tree Rollins.
Oh, wow.
But it was Tree Rollins that bit Danny Ainge.
Little
Dan,
Mandela effect.
Video, did you? Takes a little bit. All right, well, maybe we'll get it later in the show if you can find the biting incident. It's also, I'm going to let everybody know that if we do find it, it will not be in high def.
Really? You're telling me they didn't have that back then?
Come on now. Why are you laughing at that? It's the grainy video of my childhood, for God's sake.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah. Well, once again, we want a list of, you know, predominantly baseball players or ones who you would have a hard time cheering for if they joined your team. The process doesn't even have to have taken place at this point. So there you go. I don't know if there's anybody that did that for Cleveland. I know we had guys that started with Cleveland, like Albert Bell was probably a pain to root for teams. Yeah. You know, he went on to the White Sox and then the Orioles, but Albert was kind of his own category, if you will. You know what I mean?
I do.
All right. We got a lot more coming your way, but first, an appearance from my buddy Trevor Plouffe.
This episode is brought to you by Fanatics Markets, where fans trade on sports. It's simple. You just pick a game and choose an outcome, like which team will win, which player will hit a home run, and more. It's time to get involved in the action. Then buy contracts based on what you think will happen. Yes, if you think it will. No, if you don't. Buy as many as you want. Sell if the price moves in your favor, or you let them settle when the event ends. And Fanatics Markets just got even more rewarding with Fan Cash. Now you can earn up to 10% Fan Cash on your trades, win or lose. Use it across the Fanatics ecosystem for things like trade credit, authentic apparel, collectibles, tickets, and more. Fan Cash is Fanatics' currency of sport, connecting trading, merchandise, collectibles, and experiences all in one place. Trade, earn Fan Cash, and unlock more with Fanatics Markets. Event contracts carry risks of total loss and changing prices, not good for all investors. Now available in all states. Must be 21 plus. See important disclosures in Fanatics Markets app. Customers are introduced to Crypto.com by Paragon Global Markets, LLC. DBA Fanatics Markets IB, an introducing broker registered with the CFTC and a member of the NFA.
Trevor, it's good to see you. He'll be back on the show on Friday. He had a day game for the Twins. Here we go. Danny found it. Oh, there we go. That's what it was. It wasn't a loose ball. It was an elbow. So we got the fight. And then, in the midst of that, Tree Rollins bit Danny Ainge.
I kind of get it. Elbow. Maybe not the biting part of it, but like just you get an elbow, you're probably pissed.
I wonder if I bet you nobody was thrown out in this. Could you imagine if that happened today? First of all, look, everybody's on the floor.
Oh,
These
yeah.
days, if you leave the bench, you're suspended the next game.
Right.
Look at all the guys. These were some great, great battles. This was Neek against Larry Bird. Woo! Let's go. Get in there. Get in there.
I love the Hawks jerseys too. And
Oh,
nice little vintage.
phenomenal
Yeah.
jerseys. Yeah, they had some great players. The late great Dan Roundfield, one of my favorites growing up.
Mm.
He's a good player. That's when they used to really lace it up in the NBA. People are like, "Oh gosh, they hit so hard." Oh, go watch some 80s stuff. It got ugly back then. All right. Well, it's been since before the 80s that the Pirates were really, really good. Like 1979 when they won their last World Series. Could this be the year? They were swinging it out in Sacramento last night.
The Royals 40-man roster. Hit the other way. Wind carrying and clear the deck. Oppo cannonball coming for Ryan O'Hearn.
Part of a 6 RBI night for him. Yeah, get that cone out there. So the Pirates right now, a game over 500. The A's slip back to 500. Which team do you believe in more this season?
If the Pirates were in the AL, I think they're the easy answer because I do think comparing these two teams, they are so much better. No offense to the A's. I just think the pitching is just not comparable. But obviously the Pirates play in the National League Central, which is a heated division, where the AL West, not as much. If the Pirates were in the AL West, they'd actually be tied for the division lead. But yeah, Rosie, for me, it is the Pittsburgh Pirates. I do have a little bit more faith just in the overall roster, which I can't believe I'm saying. Rosie, if you told me that the Pirates offense was numerically a top 5 offense going into June 18th, what would you say? Right?
I would wonder how many games up they're in the Central.
Okay, a little backhand, but fair. I think that's fair. But they're 5th in runs, 3rd in average, 3rd in on base, 4th in OPS. Paul Skeens has been Paul Skeens-ish, maybe not as good as the first 2 years, but he's still been dominant. Braxton Ashcraft has been very good as a number 2, an underrated pitcher in Major League Baseball right now. But this is what we want to see from the Pittsburgh Pirates. I think we've been clamoring over the last couple of years, especially with Paul Skeens being so dominant. Make this product good. Make the Pirates good. Make people want to go to PNC Park, not just for Paul Skeens, not just for the stadium, but because the Pittsburgh Pirates are competitive. And right now, that's what they're doing. And quite frankly, at PNC Park, they have been very good. They have the highest average and highest OPS in Major League Baseball in the National League at home. So they're actually producing runs at PNC Park, Rosie. I think this is a team that can compete in 2026. I don't know if they'll make the playoffs, but it's a positive step for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and I do have some hope that they will compete throughout the majority of this season.
I think they'll be right there, and I know that Ben Cherington has to go up to ownership and say, we need to fix this bullpen.
Yes.
Does it mean we have to bring back Aroldis Chapman? Okay,
wow.
that would be interesting. But there are so many other arms that can just help supplement what they've got back there, because it has not been good at all. Like Soto, up and down.
Good.
Good-ish.
Yeah.
Good-ish. Sisk has put up good numbers, but other than that, you are holding your breath if you're a Pirates fan when they have the lead after 6 innings, because you just don't know. It's like starter did his job. Offense has done a good job. God almighty, can the bullpen get us through here? Because they are right on the cusp. And how much fun would it be to see Paul Skeens throw, as a wild card, because I don't think they're going to best Milwaukee. I mean, they're 9 games back in that division, I think. But in a wild card round, let's say at Atlanta or at could you imagine game 1 Skeens Miz if that's what happened?
Wow. I mean, that would be absolutely electric. Miz and 2 of the best pitchers in baseball going at it in a playoff game. We need some playoff action in PNC Park, Rosie. It's been way too long.
By the way, if that happens, and I know we're a long way from there, because I actually think Milwaukee's going to end up getting one of the top 2 seeds, and so they wouldn't have to play the first round. But let's just play the what-if game. What if Milwaukee finishes with the 3 seed and Pittsburgh finishes with the 6 seed?
Wow.
Normally, a Pittsburgh-Milwaukee game would be first one out of the gate on a Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever day the playoffs start this year. But if you know that it's Skeens against Mizorowski, what time does that game get played? Is that the primetime game?
Obviously, it does depend on the other matchups, but I mean, that's a huge selling point. That would be Skeens versus Mizorowski. You have potentially the NL Cy Young of 2026 versus the NL Cy Young of 2025 going at it should be prime time because baseball fans know those two guys are two of the best in the sport.
I think it would be prime time. As long as, here's my caveat. As long as the Yankees aren't the 3 seed in the American League, which they will not be the 3 seed.
If they're 3 or lower, my goodness, what happened?
Something happened. Not only did Aaron Judge not return, Bellinger broke his toe on a clubhouse chair. Garrett Cole took a family vacation for 2 months. That's the only way it would happen.
Right.
Because I don't think there's anybody in the National League where you're like, well, we've got to put them in prime time over that matchup.
No. That'd be really fun.
And by the way, I do agree with you. The A's, man, I watch a lot of A's baseball, a ton of it. And I dig their lineup, even though some guys have not hit well at all. That pitching staff. I mean, Ginn, awesome.
Right.
Gage Jump.
He's been good.
Interested. And other than that, including the bullpen, Oop.
Yeah. They have one guy I'm excited for, another prospect like Gage Jump, Jamie Arnold, who could be something decent. But again, we haven't seen him yet. And the rest of the pitching hasn't been good. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to take some time to introduce you to something here at John Boy Media. It's called Warehouse Labs. Yes, we are testing new games. You get to vote on which ones stick around and will be part of the programming next year. The first episode, it's called Pickleball. It is out now on our Warehouse Games YouTube channel, so check that out. Once again, you get a voice. That's what we love about this community. You don't only get to consume it, you get to be a part of the product and the decision-making process. I assume that you were part of Pickleball?
Actually, I wasn't. Yeah, I know. It was during, so usually Thursdays are days later in the day. It's a lot of talking baseball prep, getting Wednesday and Thursday stuff in for Friday's show. But I was in the second episode that releases because we filmed that on a Friday. So I was able to do that one. And I will admit, I don't want to spoil anything. It was something going in, wasn't super excited about. Like, I didn't know if it would work. Left it thinking, oh, this is the next sport. This is amazing. So
really,
yes, it's something that's not super straining on the body, which is a huge win to start. But it's also something I think is like surprisingly really fun to watch and play. So stay tuned for that for sure. That probably comes out in a week or so.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I will check it out. Last thing before we hit the road, home run derby, ditching the clock. Instead of timed rounds, we are back to pitches per round. Evan Drellick of The Athletic laid it out. He said MLB is using a swing system in this year's derby. Derby has had a clock for the last 11 years. So first round, you'll get 20 swings. Second and third round, you get 15 swings. On your last pitch of each round, you swing until you do not hit a home run. Do you like this better?
I think so. I think the big point that why I like this more is the last swing rule. Because you could then just keep going and going and going. It's like the last ball means something. Like you just got to keep on going. And for me, I like the clock component as a viewer in terms of like, you just got to go. But I think it was really hard to enforce the rule where the ball's got to land before you can throw the ball. Like I think there's some instances from like, oh, was he allowed to throw the pitch? Yada, yada, yada. I think it's going to be a more fun watch because these guys aren't going to be out of breath, just, continuously swinging. You can get your pitch, swing, watch it. Nice. Set, get your pitch, swing. It'll be longer, but I think the actual like home runs will be more of like these mammoth home runs we've seen in the past versus the more recent events.
So I was at the first home run derby with the clock, and I believe it was in Cincinnati where Todd Frazier may have won it. And I loved it. I was like, holy smokes, this is amazing. And then I was at a bunch of them after that. Even our first few years with John Boy, we went to the home run derby and had a blast. And then I got to watch it on TV for the first time. I was like, this sucks. You know why? Because it's impossible to shoot from a TV production standpoint.
Right.
Because you want to see the fans' reaction to catching the home run ball. Like, that is something special, right? They go out, they catch the ball, they're fighting over it. Instead, the director's got to cut to, okay, boom, Pete Alonso's swinging again. And look at this at the end. I think this was the back end of his back-to-backs in Colorado. And boy, he's like, boom, we got to go. We got to go. We got to go. And he's hitting these monster shots. Now, the last one, he could sit there. He does his flex. He celebrates with the belt, the whole bit. But it was hard to keep up. It was like a little nauseating to watch on TV, to be honest with you.
It's so fast paced. That's a really good point, Rosie. I didn't think about it like that, but it would be, I think slower would be good for the players in terms of not maybe straining themselves as much with the quick, the stamina and whatnot. But like, I'm excited. I think the home run derby is something, I know pace of play is a big deal in Major League Baseball. This is an event. Pace of play should matter. It's a one night thing. You have the best power hitters in this sport who want to participate playing in this event. Let it be stretched out time wise. That's okay.
I don't need shtick, though. Don't give me all the shtick in between with the breather. All right, let's take it. Like, I wonder if you can still call a timeout, maybe to kind of mentally readjust, hit the reset button, and then here come all your teammates out with the Gatorade towel, and let's fuel them up and the whole bit. I'm sure they'll do it for advertising purposes. Let's remember, it is on a new home for years and years, decades and decades. It was on ESPN. It now moves to Netflix.
Oh,
yes.
Didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, Netflix took the opener between the Yankees and the Giants.
Right.
They've got the home run derby, and then they've got the Field of Dreams game between the Twins and the Phillies in August. So that's their 3 baseball tentpole exercises. Obviously, people will have their thoughts on all of that to see what they do with it. I'm going to guess Bert Kreischer's going to be out in left field seats there in Philly, shirtless. Let's try that one on.
In the cornfields, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
I mean, if they wanted a fat guy who takes his shirt off, hello? Like, I perfected that stuff before he did in the sports world.
Hey, I mean, we've seen it in the warehouse too, Rosie. We've seen you swinging your shirt around. Absolutely. Yeah. And I wouldn't
I'm not so sure I could catch the ball if they hit it to me in left field, but the rest of the stuff I got down pat. God's sakes. I'll show off this taco meat out there in Philly if I need to. Thank you. Let us know. What do you think? Are you looking forward to the no more clock? Do you want the clock back? Give us your thoughts in the comment section. Dalty, as always, you crush it. Look at you bringing your homework. Can I enter in Jackson Merrill as Exhibit A, Your Honor?
Oh, I'm a lawyer now. I'll take it. The nerdy guy turns into a lawyer. Fantastic. Yeah, Rosie, come on. I'm a suck up. You know that.
You would have been great as a lawyer, wouldn't you?
I think I stammer over I'll bring the evidence, but I'll be like the lawyer from My Cousin Vinny.
Oh, the stutterer?
Yeah.
That's very funny.
You've heard me stammer over my words. I don't know.
Not at all. I love it. I think you're excellent at what you do.
Thanks, Rosie. You're the man.
All right. I look forward to seeing you in a few weeks in Philadelphia, right?
Yeah, I'll be down there. I think that Tuesday I'll be there.
All right. Awesome. Cannot wait. And go get your tickets, too, for our watch party. It's that Tuesday. It's going to be awesome. It's way better than the game. I'm just telling you. Go to the Derby and go to our event on Tuesday. That's what I always tell people. Trevor Plouffe is back with us tomorrow. We look forward to that, although thanks to Swilly and for Dalty for filling in so admirably. For our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, the uber-talented Dalton Feely, I am Chris Rose. We will see you Friday here on Baseball Today, presented to you by T-Mobile.